Referee in charge is Jason Collins.
All right, fight number 2. Here we go in the NFC cage. Both these guys looking for their first amateur MMA win.
Be conducted under the same rules as our last bout, 3 3-minute rounds. Again, no knees to the face or shots to a grounded opponent. As you expect with tall, lanky fighters, both guys coming out with those kicks. Seeing a little bit longer range than we did in our first fight.
A lot of movement here.
A lot of movement and a lot of kicks. If I had those
Nice
kind of
kick.
legs, I'd throw a lot of kicks too.
Jordan's moving in and out. You hear his coaches in the corner say relax as he shoots for a takedown just out of range.
Yeah, you see Lance coming out. He's changed his stance several times now, which could add an interesting dynamic. Something you don't typically see a lot from a debut fighter. So we'll see
Yeah.
how well he pulls that off.
You do see it a lot more nowadays with these guys in MMA switching stances, but like you said, yeah, typically it comes at the pro. Ooh, a little bit low blow there.
Yeah, and more. To be more specific, you don't see it effectively until usually a higher level. You know, you and I have been doing this a long time, and I can go southpaw, but it's not nearly what I can do. Usually, it's at a pro level you see guys be able to efficiently go from both sides.
Yeah, great example tonight. TJ Dillashaw versus Corey Sandhagen, main event for the UFC. See a lot of stance switching. So
one of the things, though, just because a guy is 0-0, Zach, is there are guys that are 0-0 and have been training for a year. There are guys who are 0-0 have been training for 8 years. You know, so just because a guy has an 0-0 record, especially at amateur, records can be very deceiving.
let's see here. Lance maintaining his distance pretty well. Yeah, Jordan was trying to force a shot in there just a second ago. Oh, big jump. I don't know what he was looking for there.
Yeah, he's got a little bit, he's got the hands out. You saw him put some weight on that back leg. Kind of a Muay Thai, Taekwondo hybrid style.
Very explosive, and we'll see if he can take advantage of that and connect with one of these kicks. But Lance grabs, looking
Risky.
for almost a rolling thunder style kick there.
Yeah. What they in the pro wrestling world would call an enziguri. Very risky in MMA, as we saw. You end up on the ground. Both these guys being very cautious. They felt a little bit of that power from their opponent. And both guys being selective about their shots.
Yeah, I believe both these guys know that they have heavy power in these kicks. And I don't know what happened there.
Well, it was interesting. It looked like a shot, but then he threw a punch very low. I think he's warning him about that. What I thought was going to be a shot ended up almost looking like a groin punch.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a. Jordan seems to be kind of jumping in on those shots a little bit too far out, so he's kind of flailing his arms a little bit. Looks a little bit uncomfortable in the wrestling, but it could also be because Lance is keeping his distance pretty well. They're both on their toes. They both have a wide stance, and they're in and out. So we'll see what we got here. We got short time in round one.
Lance White going to need to be careful on these exchanges when he enters the pocket to keep that chin down. And he does a magnificent beard, but it's not going to protect his chin if he walks into a big shot.
Yeah, that chin is pretty high every time he throws or backs up. Another one.
Yeah, you feel the
10
frustration
seconds.
as he may be losing a point on this one.
Hope he's got a good cup.
Certainly not on purpose. That you see that happen when you have a righty-lefty matchup. That leg kick will start to ride a little bit high on the inside of the leg.
Yeah, referee Jason Collins takes away 1 point from Jordan Hayward here, which could lead to a 10-8 round, so you never know. But we'll see what we got. Got about 10 seconds left in the round.
Yeah, going to be very interesting with that point taken away. It didn't look like any of those were done intentionally, but when you kick the inside of the leg, it makes it a lot easier for that foot to creep up.
Yeah, it's Usually never intentional, and you got to feel, you see the frustration off of Jordan Hayward as he punched the mat there, but he's going to have to do something big in one of these next 2 rounds, given if he lost that round, it could be 10-8, meaning even if he won the next 2 rounds, it would be a draw. So look for him to be even more explosive than he was in round 1, throwing those heavy kicks, looking for that knockout.
If I'm over there in Jordan Haywood's corner right now, I'm telling him the same thing we've noted, that when Lance enters the pocket, he just comes with his chin high, and that could be an opportunity to throw one right down the pipe.
Yep. Down the pipe or just combinations, man. Just throw 2, 3, 4 punches. You'll catch him on that 3rd or 4th. If that chin is high and you stay in tight and finish with those combinations, that's when that lands. So we'll see what his corner gave him, what advice they gave him. But round 2, he's looking hungry. He's looking like he's a lion, ready to feast here. So touch of gloves by both guys. Heavy kick to start by Lance with a big one up top. That connects. He got kicked in. Oh, wow. Once again.
Jordan's going to have to be a little choosier with his shots. You know, he's taking a lot of these punches and kicks from a long way out. And when you do that, a lot of times that's when you tend to get, feet that hit the groin, or your opponent's knees or elbows is when you're throwing shots just too far away.
I hope Lance is not trying to have kids anytime soon.
Instead of hitting your opponent in the desired zone, like the thigh or the rib, that's when you start catching elbows and knees and cups.
Yeah, it's tough throwing those inside leg kicks on the opposite stance. Got to be more careful, especially given this is 4th time here. So look for him to kick real low or real high.
Yeah, and look at referee, it's his discretion. He will take points away. At some point, he will disqualify a fighter if he continually goes low.
And, sometimes it's instinct. Jordan could be used to kicking that inside leg a lot, given that he probably faces some southpaws a lot. Mouthpiece down. Interesting fight so far.
Interesting how Lance keeps his eyes very low. Almost looks like he's looking at the legs.
Maybe trying to deceive his opponent a little bit as he lands a couple good hooks.
Yeah, he goes up and down. He'll look him in the eye, then he'll look at his legs. And you will see some fighters try to use that to trick their opponent. Lance really likes that leg kick.
Another forced shot, but he gets it because he pushes off the cage. Just ran out of room there for Lance to defend it here, and he looking over to his corner for advice.
He's been looking for this takedown for a long time. We'll see if he can capitalize on this. Looks like Lance well prepared. Looks like he's got some grappling experience the way he's posturing out of this.
Yeah, does a good job using that guillotine as bait to stand up, and he's exactly where he wants to. Oh, he could have taken advantage right there.
Yeah, I think some of the hesitation was just not wanting to break rules, but he absolutely could have popped him while he was coming up. It takes a little time to, settling in here. I've told this story before. My very first contest, I punched a guy in the back of the head in the first 10 seconds. That adrenaline runs high, and it takes a couple times to really get comfortable in there.
Good front kick right there.
One of the things we haven't really seen here, Zach, is either of these fighters putting together more than one strike.
Yeah, a lot of the times one of your first fights, you get so obsessed with the idea of the knockout that you look to throw everything on one punch and forget about just piecing those combinations together. It gets a little bit scary when you throw those little gloves on. It hurts a lot more.
Sure.
So.
Yeah, typically when you're throwing a combo, it means you got to stand in front of them for a second, and there could be some reservation to do that.
Yeah, especially with these guys, seeming that they both seem to be in and out with their style on the balls of their feet. So they're looking for that point fighting style, getting that one shot, getting out.
Nick White working the leg a lot, and he's not getting a ton on these kicks. A lot of them he's hitting with his foot, but they are still going to score. Two rounds in the books. I got to believe Lance White probably took that one as well. And much like fight number 1, I think blue corner here, Jordan Haywood, is going to need an emphatic finish. Keyword being finish. Fans, as we get ready for round number 3 here, we will be back in just a couple weeks here at the same venue at the District in Atlanta on Saturday, August 7th for NFC 136, which you can also see right here on Flow Combat. Here we go, round number 3.
Time for the third and final round.
Let's see what kind of adjustments Jordan Haywood's making here as we go into the final frame. If you're his coach, Zach, what are you telling him here? He's clearly down on rounds. You know, you've now gotten to see Zach White for 2 rounds. What are you telling your fighter when he's down?
I'm going to hopefully tell him, like we talked about, you know, try to throw those combinations. His opponent's chin is high. So if he can throw a couple punches in and finish with a kick at the end of the combination, he may be able to catch Lance White at the end of it. So we'll see what he's got here. But the first 2 rounds, it seemed it was just one shot and done.
Yeah, not only with that, but he also fights with his hands low. You know, and that's when a lot of times something like a double jab just disrupt the timing can get you inside so you can do some damage. I mean, as you see, every time he throws a strike, Lance White backs out. And that's when something like the double comes in. He takes 1 step back, you take 2 steps forward.
Lance looking a little bit more comfortable here in round 3. Sticking his tongue out just a second ago.
Yeah, Lance very composed. You know, Jordan, he's telegraphing some of these shots, and Lance is able to get out of there.
Yeah, Lance doing it. As he gets caught, I was just about to say he's doing a great job at distance recognition here, just getting out of range whenever Jordan throws a punch or a kick. But
3 times now to the back of that leg. You know, and as an amateur fighter, those shin guards will definitely allow you to absorb some more of those leg kicks than you would without them. If Jordan Haywood would throw one of those right kicks over the top, I think he'd get a KO here. You know, Lance White is blocking those shots with his forearm and elbow. And if Jordan would throw that over the top, I think he'd connect to the head.
Far out shot. You see a little bit of grimace out of Jordan Haywood's face as Lance landed a punch on the way out. Oh,
again,
my gosh.
Wow, that one you could hear. It was audible.
Yeah, hate
Jordan
to see
nails
it.
You know, props to Lance White. He's been a trooper here. You're not seeing him complain about it, but he's taken several straight to the cup.
Lance seemed to be recovered, taking 1 more point away, so you got to see a finish here if Jordan wants to get this fight.
Yeah, and you see Lance White here not wanting this fight to be stopped. He wants to see this one go all the way to the end, asking the referee to not end this fight.
Yeah, as he's looking great in this fight. You know, he's maintaining his distance. He's hitting him with those pot shots every chance that he gets. Let's see if he can avoid a nut shot here in round 3.
Yeah, agreed. He hasn't inflicted a ton of damage, but just as important, he also hasn't really taken any. You know, and again, he's in his debut fight here, and if he can walk away with this a win and no damage, that's a good day at the office.
Heavy kick, look for Jordan.
Jordan started to pick up on that leg kick. And with these guys with a righty-lefty matchup, I'd love to see one of them just throw that head kick right over the top. With these long of legs, it's criminal to not see a head kick or 2.
Heavy outside leg kick right there by Lance.
He stepped into that one. He got all of it right to the hamstring of Jordan.
I'll tell you what, he's looking really composed for his first fight right here. Looking good other than what we noted, sticking that chin up in the air, but I'm sure he'll learn.
He's going to have to work on that. He's going to get in there with someone who's going to headhunt, and he's going to drop or double step and come right with a big right hand over the top.
But his distance recognition is pretty solid, you know, if he keeps continuing to work. Big shot by Jordan at the start, at the end.
Very nice. Used the underhook to end up on top.
Stuffed and finishes on top. Did Lance White.
Puts the exclamation point on it. Not only wins emphatically, but finishes on top. Good for him.
Both these guys showing respect at the end. I think they were talking about those nut shots. Seen
a pair of debut amateurs here walking away with a victory in their first one. A good job to Lance White. As I imagine, the scorecards will probably be 30, 25, maybe even 24. And, you know, for Jordan Haywood, look, he's got some good stuff. He's going to have to, you know, look at some of these holes in his game. He's certainly got the build. I mean, he's a giant at 145 pounds. And he flashed some good things out there. He seems to be a little bit more confident in his hands. You know, find his distance so he's not telegraphing his shots. You know, that's what amateur is for. Make these mistakes now.
They're tallying up the scores. We'll take it away to Jose Santiago here in just a moment.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecard. Judge A scored the contest 29-26. Judge B scored it 29-26. Judge C scored it 30-25. Your winner by unanimous decision, Lance White!
Congratulations, Lance White, getting a victory in his debut fight. Another good show of sportsmanship here again, just like we did in our first tilt of the night. You know, one of the things I'd like to see Jordan Haywood do is compete in some kickboxing or Muay Thai fights. Yeah, you saw him really, you know, shooting those takedowns from a long way out. And like I said, he's so tall and rangy for 145 pounds. If he could get a little bit of confidence in his hands and figure out his range, that guy could be a fantastic kickboxer.
I agree. I think he could benefit a lot by getting in there for kickboxing matches, like you said, and trying to piece together those combinations, because he is tall and lanky for 45. He could really utilize his kickboxing a little bit better and get more experience that way. So we'll see him in the future, I'm sure, MMA and kickboxing. But congratulations to Lance White.